are live with our first ever episode of the Keeg's Geek News Update. I don't know if the name is gonna
That
change.
rolls off the tongue like really well.
Clearly, yeah.
In my head,
Like butter.
in my head, the mascot would be like a new, like the little like thing with the horns because it's GNU. But yes, this is the Geek News Update, brought to you by the Keeg, where we're talking about this week's news. This show is not so much a deep dive as it is just telling you the geek news of the week. Whether you're a a first time listener or a first time geek, or you got some years under your belt, either way, we are here to convey everything that came out in the geek news sphere. I'm your host, Demetri Pereira, and today, October 13th, 2025, we're talking about New York Comic Con news that came out of the Comic Con of New York. Whether it's movies or TV or Marvel or DC or comics or toys or Interview with a Vampire or whatnot, we're going to be talking about everything that came out of New York Comic Con. But I am not alone. I am just hosting this. Instead, I got two awesome guests. One was physically there. We got Brian Long back in the Keeg house, aka Captain Comic Rex. Brian, what's up, man?
Hello, how are you? I'm reporting live from the Nor'eastern here in Jersey City, New Jersey, giving you updates on New York Comic Con. Hello.
Hello. I'm glad that
Hello.
we got somebody that was there, like you were in the thick of things, mortars
it was
going
thick.
off above your head.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. This is I've been going to this convention since like the second or third one ever. They put up a post for next year's date, and they were like, next year's the 20th anniversary, and I had a real moment of like, oh my God, I've been going to this thing pretty regularly on and off for almost 20 years, which was kind of crazy to think about. So I'm excited for the 20th next year, and I'm excited to talk about the news from it.
Yeah. I mean, there are Comic Cons all over, but New York Comic Con, I feel, has been on the rise lately.
Yes, I would agree with that. I mean, every year I've gone, and I haven't been to every single one, but I'd say there was probably a period there where I was going, every year, and then maybe switching to like every other year. But I've gone now every year for the last probably 4 years. And every year, I'm just blown away at how small it was at the start, and now how it's taken over the entire convention center. Like there is not an inch of that convention center that is not now dedicated to New York Comic Con when that show's going on, and it blows my mind every time.
Yeah,
and it's still so crowded.
As a West Coaster, I'm a bit used to San Diego Comic Con, as well as our second guest here. We got Sarah Zitney, aka Miss Marauder, here also on the West Coast to talk about what happened on the East Coast. Sarah, how's it going?
Hello. It's going good. I'm delighted with all the news. I was kind of floored because I always thought San Diego Comic Con was the one where everything happened. And then nothing really got announced at San Diego Comic Con except for the Interview with the Vampire stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they do comic announcements because comic announcements are year round. But like movies, I was telling you before the show that like San Diego's in a weird spot where it's like in the summer. So any movies that came out that summer, they're not doing a panel for, really. It's like it's too close.
I'll say too, in my experience, I feel like this year was the first year New York got like big exclusive stuff from like Marvel, for example. Like I feel like most of the time Marvel does their big like trailers and announcements at San Diego. And this year, this Marvel television panel, it was only the television, but this was the first time in my memory that they did like exclusive trailers New York Comic Con. And a lot of big comic related announcements. I mean, that's kind of the thing I've always liked about New York Comic Con is like, yes, the pop culture aspect is very strong and has a heavy presence there, but it has always felt like a very comics centric show, in spite of the fact that like the movies and TV stuff has a heavy presence there. Like any movies and TV stuff that has a heavy presence is comic related movies and TV. You know what I mean? San Diego now is at a point where, for better or worse, you're finding all kinds of movies and TV shows there. New York still has a very strong feel of comics, and it also has a very strong manga presence. I don't know if that's the case with San Diego Comic Con, having never been. But you walk around the floor and there's just as much like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece as there is Spider-Man and Superman. And they did some different stuff this year with the floor layout that I liked, that we could get into if you want, that I think furthers my opinion on. It's a very comic centric show. But yeah, no, this was a much different year for the better, I think, than past years I've been.
Yeah, Sarah, in your experience, how is San Diego Comic Con?
We go to San Diego like we're not really going for panels. I have a child who doesn't want to sit in a panel. We went to one panel at Star Wars Celebration, and it was so bad that she was like, never again. And it was fair. It was a bad panel. And normally it's like, I'm not going to spend my whole day waiting outside for something that's going to drop on YouTube in 2 days. So it's more like just hearing the news that comes out. And San Diego is so crowded. Famously, we're big artist alley people, and the artist alley at San Diego is like so small and cramped that we kind of just go to San Diego to go to San Diego. And also I'm a teacher, so I get to go for free. So there's that. But as far as like, we're never trying to get into Hall H or anything. The first time I was like, oh, I really hope I get into this panel is the interview with the vampire one in Ballroom 20. So like, that was the first time I'd been to one of the big panel rooms. So we definitely go more just for the experience of going. We see a lot of friends that we don't get to see normally, but like WonderCon and LA Comic Con, because of its like the focus on the artist alley stuff, is a cons that we like a little bit more than San Diego.
I would,
because that's what we're there for. We're there for like I'm there for your keychains.
Yeah.
Get my grubby hands on all your super bat keychains. And that's essentially what we did at LA Comic Con. I was like, give me all the super bat merch you have. Yeah.
The thing about like cons in general is like, yeah, there's cons all over, let's just say the United States. There's all over the world, but like if we're talking the US, there's cons all over the place. If you're into cosplay, every con is going to have cosplay to different degrees depending on attendance, but they all have cosplay. They all have like artists there for the most part, right? But really, for me personally, I judge cons off of like exclusive news. So San Diego is normally the forefront of exclusive news. And New York Comic Con never used to have exclusive news, and now they are, which makes me jealous that I didn't get to go this year. So Brian, fine.
I'm reaping all the benefits.
Yeah, but I like cons like that with exclusive stuff and the panels and that sort of thing. But I do like the panels that are exclusive news about comics, which we will talk about. If this was just any other con, I think we would have this news update and we wouldn't be talking about the news itself. So, like the news coming out of New York Comic Con, there was a lot of news.
Yeah.
Whether it's comic books, whether it's TV or movies, there was all sorts of news across many different franchises. Was there like a medium that wasn't very prevalent? I feel like Marvel movies, DC movies.
Yes.
I don't think there was any exclusive stuff coming out for that.
Right? No, most of the like big exclusive news was news about comics or news about the TV shows. Which again, going back to what I said earlier, like they've never really had a like huge presence of movie related stuff. Like, Marvel will have, or DC even will have like costumes on display and stuff like that related to the movies. But as far as like big news items, that usually gets saved for San Diego.
I will talk about the two big movie announcements that were made at New York Comic Con. Was some updates to Five Nights at Freddy's, which I don't know if you guys are fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. That scares me. So I am scared by a kid horror thing, but I am.
Sure.
Well, to be fair, it's not supposed to be for kids. It's just that kids love it. I have a 13-year-old cousin who's obsessed with it, and I was roped into a group cosplay because there's a small girl in the movie, and they were like, "Get Evie in our cosplay group," so I did.
Yeah.
So I know I'm recognizing some of the character names.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for my friends who know anything about it.
And I teach high schoolers, so anything I have learned about it has been against my will from them.
I know it's a phenomenon. I know that.
Yes.
And I know the premise and all that stuff, but I have a problem with jump scares, so it doesn't matter what's jumping out at me. It doesn't matter. It just, I can't do jump scares. So because of that, I'm going to pass on the sequel, but it has a huge following, and Megan Fox was announced to be joining the cast as the voice of Toy Chica. I don't know who that is, but that's okay.
She's a little chicken.
Okay, that makes sense.
She's like a little chick.
Does she kill people?
And she has, I think she has a cupcake.
It sounds like you're reading it for the first time.
She's got a band. No, my friend cosplays her. She's got a little like bandana on. This is like Let's Party or something.
Okay.
Like a little bib.
Dimitri said Toy Chica like it was a question, like he wasn't sure.
Well,
but I do know Kellen Goff is going to be in there, and he did the voices for the animatronics, some of the animatronics in the game. And we know him from My Hero Academia, and we've met him before. He's delightful.
Okay. Also, yeah, returning people like Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard, and I don't know who Elizabeth Lail is, but they're returning. So
Freddy Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, so I assume she didn't die in the first movie, unless she's already dead and she's a ghost. I'm not quite sure how.
I haven't seen it.
I also feel like should I have just handed off Geek News update to people who are younger than me? Should I have just? Where's the Gen Z?
I'm gonna say, if you want a Five Nights at Freddy correspondent, I have the numbers of many people that would hop on for a quick, like a back to you type of thing. Next time you want to talk about FNAF.
One day when we have an ongoing news show like that, we can do that. But what has been announced is Mortal Kombat 3. Okay, so Mortal Kombat came out during the pandemic time when the theaters were closed, and I don't know whether it was released in.
You're talking about the film, not the video game. To clarify,
the film based off the video game,
the newest film,
based off the novel Push by Sapphire. And
Jesus Christ.
So, yes, there was a Mortal Kombat new first movie, not the 90s one, but the new one that came out in like 2020. It went straight to HBO Max because HBO Max had that thing where they were just going to release the movies on the streaming service or on the streaming service and in theaters, depending on when it was. So the movie did decent, and they announced a sequel that has Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. That movie was supposed to come out this year, Mortal Kombat 2, but because Warner Brothers has been doing amazing at the box office this year, they decided to move Mortal Kombat 2 to next year because they foresee it doing really well. So they've already made their money for this year. They're like, let's move some stuff to next year just so we have some more stuff. So Warner Brothers still has a pretty stacked deck next year. We got Supergirl. We have Mortal Kombat 2. And then at New York Comic Con, they announced that they're doing a Mortal Kombat 3, even before the second one came out.
I was going to say, when I did read that, I was like, has there been a Mortal Kombat 2?
Well, I guess they must have confidence in it because they moved it to a better, better in quotes, release date of May. I think the second one was supposed to come out in I think it would have come out by now. It was coming out in like September or October, which is often seen as like a bit of a dumping ground for these types of movies. So they must have confidence in it, especially if they're already going to make a third one.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see Carl Urban play Johnny Cage. I didn't watch the newest one. Maybe I'll watch it just so I know what's happening.
Yeah,
there's going to be a Mortal Kombat, I'm sure. I don't know how much I really need to know going in, but
they're gonna combat each other mortally.
There'll be some fatal battles of some sort.
I feel like they're trying to do like a half reboot on this, because the main character of the first Mortal Kombat that came out a couple years ago was an original character that's not in the cartoon or the video game.
And people love that. People love when you do that.
They created a brand new character, so people were like, I don't know who he is. Is there going to be a reveal or is there not? There wasn't a reveal. He's just a character.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. And so in this, now they're bringing in fan favorite Johnny Cage, who his character, he's a Hollywood actor that also fights. So
yes,
there's kind of a satirical edge to the character because
it seems like this new movie's like a Galaxy Quest remake. Because he's like a washed up actor, and they're like, "We need you to do a Mortal Kombat." And he's like, "What?" And then he does a Mortal Kombat. So hey, I like that idea. I like that premise. I'm in for it.
Yeah,
sounds good.
That being said, there also was not a Mortal Kombat tournament in the first movie. People were like, "That's literally the premise of the series. Is this tournament?" There was no tournament in the first movie.
Was it like a legal drama? What did they do?
There was no Mortal Kombat.
There was no Mortal Kombat?
It was like, I think there was like a MacGuffin of some sort of thing that the bad guys wanted, and so they fought, but they didn't fight in a tournament.
There wasn't a formal bracket or anything like that.
Right. Not like DCKO, which we'll go over in a little bit.
I feel like that's a good transition to talk about.
Anxious to talk about this.
Are we gonna do?
I think we should.
I'm trying.
Yeah, let's talk about that because that's some news that's like crazy, but we can talk about it, I think, relatively quickly.
I can't.
So here's a question.
I can't. It's okay. We can take a 30-second detour into Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, do that. Let's do that, and then let's get into that.
Let's all cool our jets. Interview with the Vampire released a teaser trailer at San Diego Comic-Con that did not make it fully to the internet. Felt very special. So I saw this trailer months ago, and I've been like, I'm like, all the editors that are on here on TikTok are like, I'm like, you guys just wait, like the footage is crazy, because they'd only been filming for about 2 weeks. So they told us that they were casting people, but they couldn't announce anyone. So they announced the cast of the members of Lestat's band.
Cool.
Which is very cool. And then they announced Akasha, Queen of the Damned. So that's been a casting that everyone has been like eagerly waiting for. She probably won't feature very much in the season, but the fact that they cast her and announced that is something that they like could not announce yet at San Diego, and then they were able to. So the trailer is online now. It looks delightful, and it still says coming 2026, but I've heard people say April. I guess one of the actors said April, kind of like in passing, and then someone. So I'm hoping spring, because all it says now is 2026. So we don't have a confirmed release date yet, but season 2 is on Netflix now, so people can watch 1 and 2 to prepare for season 3, and I am just delighted.
Why do these streaming services never just want to tell us when a show's coming out?
Because they probably move them around. Like, again, like
Mortal
Kombat, you know?
Figure it out, guys. Just pick a date.
As far as like when it's
so mad.
I mean, they're still filming it.
Oh, and I guess it's also an AMC show, so it's not a streaming service thing, technically. Yeah. All right, good point. I feel like Disney Plus does this a lot, where they're like, it's coming out in 2026. They're like, when? They're like, no. You'll find out like 4 weeks before it comes out. Like, just tell me, you butts.
But that's the thing, though, is that Marvel specifically, Marvel Television and Marvel movies, and that whole slate, and DC also, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot by like announcing stuff too early and setting dates way too early. Like weren't we supposed to get a Cyborg solo movie in 2019?
Well, look, Dimitri, a lot has changed since that was first announced.
I was supposed to be freaking out about the Batman 2 right now. Yeah. I was supposed to be in a movie theater watching it for the 70th time.
Yeah.
But these are shows that are like done. You know what I mean? In the case of Cyborg and the Batman 2, they announced those dates before they like even had a script ready. You know what I mean? These shows like Ironheart, for example, that was done like 2 years ago, and it took them forever to finally be like, "Here's Ironheart." You know what I mean? A lot of these shows
seemingly forgot that they had it.
Yeah, they found it in the bottom of a drawer, and we're like, "Oh crap, we should probably put this on somewhere."
I mean, I also think that everything got derailed You know?
Yes. By numerous circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we they're cut them some slack. They are doing the
No, I
best they
refuse.
can.
But I'm also an anime watcher where it's
Mm.
like, oh my god, the first season of the anime was so good. When's the second season coming out? And they're like, oh my god, I don't know, 7 years from now. Like, okay, well, just let me know when you're
I
ready.
guess by comparison, it seems not that bad.
Chainsaw Man season 2.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, I don't know what the segue is now. Let's see, vampires. Do you think that Lestat will cameo in DCKO?
He might as well at this point.
So,
is he a Warner Brothers property? I guess not. AMC's not owned by Warner Brothers.
But are all of these Warner Brothers?
No, but the two that stick out the most to me are Warner Brothers. Because should we just talk about? Why don't you talk about what it is for context?
Brian, you're already talking about it. Why don't you bring us into this next news story?
Detective Comics in their event Detective Comics Knockout, aka DCKO.
It stands for Detective Comics King Omega.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Thank you
Detective
for
Comics
using
King Omega.
its full name.
Yes, its full government name of Detective Comics King Omega. They've decided that their big old bracket wasn't enough. And we're now expanding outwards because everything is Fortnite now. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters who are not Detective Comics characters join in the battle in some capacity. And those characters include, I'm going to rank them from least crazy to crazy. All right, are we ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
The first of which is Vampirella, who has crossed over with everybody. Hi, Vampirella. Great to see you. You've definitely popped up in a DC Con before. Red Sonja, that one's a little crazy because Red Sonja, most of her publication history has been with Marvel. So, it's interesting she's popping up. Homelander, which that's nuts. This is the battle everybody's been wanting to see, is Homelander versus Superman. Sub-Zero. Okay, now we're moving away from comics and we're getting into just random properties.
No, that's a Warner Brothers owned property, though.
That is a Warner Brothers owned property, though. Yes. Annabelle from the film Annabelle, the doll. She's gonna fight somebody. And then my personal favorite, the main character from Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. And for those of you who don't know about that comic, it is an amazing comic from IDW. Is it IDW? I believe it's IDW. That's basically what if Dexter took place in the busy world of Richard Scarry. That's the best log line I could give.
What is the busy world of
That's
Richard Scarry?
the apple guy. The little
worm that drives in an apple.
I don't know what that is. What?
Google it. You would definitely recognize the aesthetic.
Google worm in apple.
Worm driving an apple car.
Okay.
So the central character, she's a serial killer who's an anthropomorphized cartoon bear. And she's gonna fight Nightwing? I don't know.
If they were not cowards, the fucking Looney Tunes would be in here, is all I'm saying.
Oh yes, that's such a
why
good
are we
point.
not just fully space jamming it? If we're gonna do this, get Lola Bunny in there.
Get Scooby-Doo in there.
And then it will be...
They're not capable of fighting. Not in a death match. I don't think they're going to put Looney... So, how do we describe...
He can pull an anvil out of nowhere and drop it on somebody's head.
I don't think they're trying to do multiverses or whatever that was, right? Was that what it was called?
I want to see the Joker versus Bugs Bunny.
They're getting as close to it as they can without actually doing it, though. This is crazy.
So I do want to touch on this because it's funny because we just had an episode of Comic Talk, which we do every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Anyway, point being is we go over the comics of the week, and we've been talking about DCKO, and I thought DCKO was a 2-issue on the main, the main issues, 2 issues, and then a bunch of spin-offs, because sometimes these crossover events do that. But that's only because they've been announced only 2 issues. There's nothing on League of Comic Geeks that goes further than that.
Because they haven't released the solicitations for the rest of the series yet.
So I didn't know. So when I saw this announced, I was very confused. Because not just that it's happening, but it's also happening in February. And I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
We're in October, DCKO 2.
So I guess that'll be issue
whatever, next
5 or 6 at that point.
I
It's
think
gonna
there's
be
5
3.
issues total, right? What?
I think it's 3.
But issue 3 doesn't come out in February.
Yeah,
out in
because issue
January.
1 came out October, November, December, January, February.
It's
Issue
not
5.
coming out. No, there. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Go
DCKO number 1 came out next month. It's not DCKO number 2. It's Night Fight number 1.
Oh, they're really stretching it out.
Yeah,
I'm going to League of Comic Geeks here.
is Night Fight,
I'm going to League of Comic
and then December is like all fight month. So
Oh, is
December
when the next DCKO comes out?
December is when like all the like one-on-ones are going to come out. So like week after week, there's going to be a new like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, because they're doing a lot of the
Savannah.
fights in like one shot or like tie-ins to the regular series. It says DCKO number 2 comes out in November.
November 26th is DCKO 2.
Oh, the end of November.
I just want to premise. Yeah. I just want to tell anyone out there who is like a new or semi inexperienced fan. DCKO is a crossover event going on in DC Comics right now, where a bunch of DC characters are fighting for this magical power that is King Omega. So it's a fighting tournament, very pro wrestling in a way, but they're fighting to the death. There's a bracket formation.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they are fighting to the death, and the winner, spoiler, I guess, a little bit for DCKO number 1 is the winner, as long as it's a good guy who wins, will use the power to bring everybody back to life.
Yeah.
That's okay. But it is a fight to the death. Sarah.
I am like, I don't care about these new characters they're bringing in like a weird gimmicky, like you have to go to a training round with a serial killer teddy bear, apparently. I am more interested and kind of befuddled by the fact that they they essentially spoiled who gets out of the first or the second round.
Yeah,
I guess because they had it as redacted, and now they've announced everybody. They've shown all the covers, and so now I'm confused now by the bracket setup, because the synopsis for DCKO number 2 is that like, okay, they've gone through the first gauntlet. The second gauntlet is like getting weapons, right? So if you get a weapon, then you can move on to the next round. Because I know they've shown Harley with like the Speed Force around her, which I was like so stoked. But like, so I don't know if that first bracket is going to be here person versus person, because you guys, I'm always I'm looking for, because they're like, how did that person beat that person? Because they have Jason Todd and Damian Wayne, but I think that's going to be like, out of the two, Jason's the one that gets the weapon, right? Or he's the one he beats, because then it's a whole complicated, like there's 3 rounds per fight. You have to win best 2 out of 3. If you die in the first round, you can respawn as any version of your character.
Okay.
So, like,
I'm just gonna have to read this to figure out what's going on.
I think there's gonna be a lot of twists and turns.
You have to fight the first round as yourself, as your current self, but then you can, like, if you die,
they come back as like
there's
different
something with like someone
time.
respawning as Monarch, and then like
Captain
Jason respawns as like Robin.
Okay.
There's
a lot going on with this crossover event. So
they've leaked the beginning of Night Fight, which is like Batman's just such a badass that he like breaks through, because they turn into statues essentially when they get beaten.
Yeah.
And Batman essentially like breaks out of that, and now he has to do his own gauntlet, which is Night Fight.
I just realized I wouldn't be surprised if DC announced the DCKO video game. It literally is. This is all literally a video game, and once they hype everybody up with the comic, I have no doubt. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to call it. DC's going to announce a DCKO video game before the final issue of this crossover event.
That would make sense. I mean, I feel like Marvel's really beaten them, no pun intended, to the punch on a lot of fighting game type things. I mean, they've basically got like three variations of a fighting game going.
Yeah.
And that would make sense. And it's been a minute since we've had like another DC fighting game, like Injustice. When was the last one of those that came out?
And I don't think they want to do another Injustice game unless they are already, but I don't know. But I think being beholden to the Injustice timeline might be, too much at this point, right?
I do want to point out, Sarah, you were right that there is a month that is getting skipped, but it's December. So 1 and 2 are coming out.
All the like individual.
Yes, I think that's when. Yeah. Okay. So I was looking because all the December solicits are out, but there's no DCKO number 3. So I think that's the month that's getting skipped.
So they DCKO had a couple of announcements, right? Yes, they are introducing these these side characters. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but Homelander technically in the Boys comic came out with Dynamite, which used to be owned by DC.
Wasn't it that it was a Wildstorm book and then moved to Dynamite?
That's what it was. Something like that. Yeah. So the Boys technically started off as a subsidiary of DC comic, right? Like,
yes.
Cool. Also, I hate the Boys comic. Like, I hate the Boys comic to death. That being said, the Homelander that we see here looks... No, is that the comic costume? Or is that the...
I mean, the comic costume and the TV show costume are pretty similar. It's hard to really say.
Okay. I hate...
Because the kind of thing where, like, if you draw it, it looks like the comic costume.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that, like, I abhor, like, the... Who would win in a fight? This person, like, that's so dumb. And I like the way that DCKO started because, like, it had a very strong plot line. Like, when I saw the bracket, I was like, oh, I don't, that's not my favorite thing. Isn't when they punch each other. But the way that they set it up was really interesting. So I was like pulled into it by the plot. So then when it's like, and we're bringing Homelander in, I was like, okay.
I think there's I still think it's plot related.
Because I think that's the whole big thing, right? Is like who would win in a fight, whatever works for the story. So, but we're already starting to see like, how could Harley Quinn beat blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because that's the way the story is going.
Yes. It's going to be something like that. Yeah.
The best thing that Stan Lee ever said about writing comics is that if someone was like, who would win the fight? And he said, the person who wins the fight is the person the writer wants to win the fight. Yeah. That at the end of the day is all that really matters, right? Logic or reason be damned.
Yeah.
But I will also say that I agree with what you're saying, but I also would love to watch Superman beat the crap out of Homelander.
Oh, in like 3 seconds.
Because we know that's what's going to happen.
Homelander is I need him not even to, like, I need him just on a page, just one page. That's it. I want him to show up and get his
like Shazam?
Ass beat. So yeah, essentially. Oof, that was rough. But yeah,
someone asked Robert Kirkman, I think it was, they did an interview during it New York Comic Con, and they asked him that question, and he was like, "Are you kidding? Like, he's a wimp. Like Superman would be in like 2 seconds."
Homelander doesn't know how to fight. It's all for show, and also the guy needs a good old fashioned beatdown. If not, just throw him into the sun. Like, I hate Homelander so much. I like the show. I absolutely abhor the comics. It is what it is. So, moving on, kind of, DCKO, the whole event, has also announced like some other spin-off stuff. I'm excited for the Kids Are All Fight special, which has Jonathan Kent, Cassandra Cain, Judy Garrick, aka Boom, Leon Harper, and Jeffrey Holt, aka Fairplay, teaming up, because that is a team up that I've never seen before. A lot of them are new characters. At least Judy is new, Jeffrey Holt's new, Leon is newly returned. So I'm excited for that. I don't have an image for that, but there was an image out there. So for anyone out there who wants to look that up, look that up.
I always look at everything from a cosplay standpoint. So when they were like, it's a spinoff with all the kids, I was like, yes, good. So many new options.
Yeah.
I just want my daughter to cosplay Leon Harper, and I can do Roy.
My feeling when I saw this image was just, this is so stupid, I can't wait to read every page of it.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway of it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I cannot get over the Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees crossover. That is the craziest one to me.
It's wild, yeah.
It's so weird, but I love it.
Let's there's a lot of DC news, actually, like DC Comics news. So
yeah,
we're gonna go through this real quick. Absolute DC, they announced a 6-issue miniseries of Absolute Catwoman coming in 2026. Written
Hell yeah.
by Che Grayson with Scott Snyder, art by Bengal. And then Absolute Joker is coming to Absolute Batman number 15, and there's some big reveal about Absolute Joker there. So those are two big Absolute DC news for anyone who's
What
into
more could they say?
He's his father.
He's already such a dang freak. What more could they do?
I don't know.
Bruce's real dad.
Oh, I hope not. God.
No,
I think that would make sense because we've seen him on the page now
yeah.
in Absolute Evil. I feel like that wouldn't quite make sense.
We also got revealed that there's a new DC initiative that's coming out after DCKO, or at least it starts March 2026. So I think that's after DCKO. And it is called DC Next Level, and it will include series like Batwoman, written by Greg Rucka, Zatanna, written by Greg Rucka, Legion of Superheroes, written by Joshua Williamson, Lobo, written by Scotty Young with art by Jorge Corona. Then we have also Deathstroke the Terminator, Firestorm the Nuclear Man, Batman Shadow of the Bat, The Demon, and Barbara Gordon Breakout.
Sounds good.
All starting in March 2026.
Guys, I really feel like this time we're going to get the Legion of Superheroes off the ground. This is going to work this time, guys. It's going to work, guys. It's going to work this time. We can do this.
Yeah, the last Legion of Superheroes was the Bendis one, right?
Yep.
Ah, yes. My favorite writer.
Are you not a fan of Bendis?
No, I famously hate Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm sure he's a nice person. I don't like. I have not liked a single thing he's ever written.
You didn't like Ultimate Spider-Man?
I haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, he has his strengths,
Yeah.
and I think his strengths are primarily like street level characters.
Yeah, I don't like his Daredevil.
Okay.
Is my hottest take.
You know what? He does not rank. If I'm ranking Daredevil writers, he's definitely on the lower tier of ones that I've read. I've read a lot, if I'm being honest. But you know, I think he has his strengths. But when he's like put in a cosmic situation, just doesn't. That's not his bag.
No.
You know what I mean? He doesn't quite succeed in that space. If you ask me.
I'm excited for Greg Rucka. I love Greg Rucka.
Oh yeah,
so I'm
he's been making a comeback lately
for his stuff. And then Jeff Lemire is attached to one of these, but they didn't say which yet. So I'm excited to see which one he's.
He's doing Lobo.
No, Scotty Young and Jorge.
Oh, I'm thinking of Scotty Young. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
I think Lemire might be doing Firestar. I don't know.
Why did they just get Jeff Lemire and Scotty Young confused? They're two very radically different people. Why did I just get
similar?
I don't know.
Jeff Lemire has to redeem himself because I didn't love his like Batman and Robin thing, but I love almost everything else he's ever done.
Yeah,
so.
He's pretty good.
He got me to care about Animal Man. So.
I mean, out of these, I think it's interesting that they're called Next Level, but it's not the only comics that DC's having. So they're doing an initiative that isn't affecting everybody. It's just these 8-9 titles, right? So there's 9 titles. What like ties them all together? I don't know. Other than a lot of these characters are characters that we just haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But that's not true for everybody. And I don't know.
Yeah.
What's up?
I was going to say Barbara Gordon. I like that it's Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Barbara Gordon Breakout. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Gotta break out. She's trapped somewhere now. She's got to break out.
Yeah. Is it a prison break situation? I don't know.
She's gotten really addicted to that mobile game.
What's
where you bounce the little pinball.
Oh.
And you break the blocks. She's in too deep.
That was an incredibly niche reference.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Maybe the calculator's there.
I also don't know what Batman Shadow of the Bat could be.
Well, that wasn't that one of the many titles of the 90s Batman?
Yeah, but are they just
series?
What's the next level? Like, what does next level mean? I don't know.
Man, I don't know. It might just be like, here's a bunch of new number ones.
Yeah.
It might just be as simple as that.
Let's I mean, that's there's even more from DC Comics. They also essentially put their foot down on what is DC Black Label.
So I was there for this
DC
panel.
Vertigo. Yeah, tell us about it.
I was there for this panel. So one of the big things about that is that, and I think some people don't realize this necessarily because Vertigo was owned by DC Comics, but a lot of the Vertigo books that were featuring original characters, like your Preachers, your Y the Last Man's, your 100 Bullets, those are creator-owned books. The creators own and retain the rights to those characters. So sorry, I just thought of something funny related to that, but I'm not going to go on that tangent right now. So their distinction is essentially this new version of Vertigo is going to be exclusively creator-owned original stories, while Black Label will be out of continuity, mature reader stories about pre-existing Detective Comics characters. So that's why, like, your Swamp Things, your John Constantines.
I was going to say, I heard people complaining that, why didn't they put Constantine? But that makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically a difference
in that universe.
Exactly. Well, and also Vertigo is not always a universe. You know what I mean? Like Preacher and Y the Last Man and Fables don't all exist in the same universe. You know what I mean? Those are books that are in their own separate spaces and are creator owned and don't necessarily cross over unless the creators want to do that in some capacity. So that I think that makes sense, and especially now at this point that Constantine and Swamp Thing, even when they were in their Vertigo days, did have like attachments to the DC universe in some ways. Sometimes they were stronger than others, depending on who was writing it. I think that makes sense, and it's also a way to say, like, okay, this is the silo for the stuff that's wholly original that the creators own, and this is the stuff that's still part of the DC Comics universe.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that okay, they announced 2 Black Label titles. One is Swamp Thing 1989, and one which is about Swamp Thing meeting Jesus.
So this is a famous story that didn't get published. This was a story that Rick Veitch I think he was the writer immediately after Alan Moore, if I remember correctly. But he took over the series after Alan Moore left. And one of the last stories that he was doing in his run was this story where Swamp Thing travels through time and he meets Jesus at the crucifixion. And the story was going to come out around the same time as a lot of the controversy around the Martin Scorsese film, The Last Temptation of Christ, was happening. A phenomenal film, highly recommended. But the people at editorial at DC Comics were like, we don't want that heat that this movie is getting, so we're going to just pull the plug on this. And Rick Veitch, in protest, just quit the book early, essentially. And this has been a story that's like long been, discussed as like a great unfinished piece. So what they are doing is not only publishing the story, but they are doing it in the original like trade dress and numbering of the Swamp Thing comic, as if you are picking up right where that series left off. And a cool thing, I don't know if they said they weren't sure if they were going to be able to do this, but what they want to do is put the ads from the 1980s in the comic too.
I heard that.
So it looks like this like lost artifact that you'll be able to find. And then when it comes time to collect it, they're going to collect it as part of the larger Rick Veitch arc. So that way
fun.
It's all together. Yeah. I think it's going to be awesome. It's very cool.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like, and this isn't, we haven't even hit everything. With the announcement of DC Vertigo having 10 newly announced creative teams that have previously worked together working on new titles for DC Vertigo, with Absolute DC, with DC Next Level, I feel like the real, in my opinion, out of everything, and we haven't even touched on everything yet, I think DC Comics is the big winner to me when it comes to,
I agree,
they just seem like they have their shit together right now. And
I agree 1,000,000%.
I think the winner of the announcements is DC Comics here, because
100%.
They're acting like they're like, look, we got this.
No, I agree with you fully, and it's like, they've already got, pardon the expression, BDE from the success of Absolute Universe, right? Like that. I gotta say this. Like, I am a high school teacher. I have not heard in the 13 years I've been a teacher, students talk about a comic in the way they talk about Absolute Batman. Like, it has, and I think a lot of it has to do with Nick Dragata's just like insane artwork. But I, over the last like month, have had 8 different kids who have never talked to me about comics come up to me and been like, Bishop, what's up with this Absolute Joker? Like that image alone just like caught fire. And that is, I think, the success they found. They've found a way to get people talking about it who aren't traditionally talking about comics. And they got,
I
more than anything, they got young people talking about it, not the old heads like us who are always reading comics anyway.
I have students come to my optional office hour to talk to me about Absolute Batman.
Like, yeah,
but
that's amazing. That's not just me.
It's happening. The way it's happening is he is finding it out on TikTok. He's like, I saw a TikTok about this. And then I'm like, okay. And then I like share my screen. I teach on Zoom.
Yep.
I like share my screen with the comic up. I'm like, let me show you this cool thing. So I'm like, I actually read it. So he comes to me to be like, Missy, what happened? What's going on with this thing? And I'll be like, let me tell you about Absolute Evil.
I think that Absolute Batman is probably very popular with very specific demographics and ages because it's the edgiest thing that DC has right now. But that being said, it's not edgy to the point of losing the, what's the phrase? Losing the
plot?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, losing the plot.
Doesn't jump the shark.
Yeah,
it's not edgy to. It's not The Boys, right? It's not edgy to be edgy. Like,
it has
makes
a point
sense within the universe.
Yes,
it has a point, and those points are his ears that fly off his helmet. Like that's the point. So DC does kind of have their shit together and all that stuff, and I mean the fact is they're willing to invest in 10 new independent essential creator-owned comic books.
It's awesome. It's awesome, and
a big swing.
Yeah, and I also feel like they, their previous attempt at bringing Vertigo back was a little bit of a wet fart many years ago, and I think that this is like you said, it's a big swing, and I think it's going to pay off. I think all these books look like really, really great. I'm especially excited about Dennis Camp and Stefan Morian, who did 20th Century Men for Image Comics. They're reuniting on like a zombie teen drama comedies book called Bleeding Hearts. Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, who did that Texas Blood, are doing like a noir with sort of like horror and fantasy overtones, so kind of like Indiana Jones noir. They all look really, really cool. Like it's like there's ones that I'm definitely gonna pick up, and then there's ones that I'm definitely gonna like borrow on Hoopla when they come out. But like I'm interested in reading all of them.
I think also I do think that I could be wrong, and this is my theory. I think that Warner Brothers is putting a little bit of money into comics, and the reason why.
Sure.
I think they're trying to create independent comics that can create more media later.
Yes, no, I don't disagree with that
take. Otherwise, where's the money coming from? Like, it can't just be comic sales. It has to be an investment in the creative talent, realizing that like you can they have screenwriters, sure, but like comic writers and this untapped market. There are comic writers that don't write screenplays. They just write comics and they're still talented, and like they get them to create stuff. This could be a testing ground
for sure. And the comics as like IP incubator for movies and TV does sometimes make me feel gross.
Yeah.
But it's like, if this is what we got to do to get cool original comics being published by DC of all places, then I'll hold my nose and enjoy the comics while they're here.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, this is, I think, coming out with Boom Studios, but DC Comics and Boom Studios are teaming up for Swamp Thing is Killing the Children. Crossover with Something is Killing the Children. And
I appreciate the pun, but also don't do that, Swamp Thing.
Don't kill the children.
Yeah, it seems like an easy
same thing
fix.
As the kids are all fight. I'm like, I love that I love the play on words. That's concerning. And same thing with here, but I'm excited. I love Something Killing Children. I also think there's like, I don't know if it's more mainstream now or if it's always been popular of like, I think horror comics, things that lean a little bit more, in the horror spectrum are either getting more attention or getting more popular or getting better. I don't know, maybe all of the above.
No, I think for sure. I think Walking Dead really kicked that door open in a major way, and that has become that dates back all the way back to the Tales of the Crypt days, right? I think comics and horror have always been very simpatico with one another, but I think I'm just
figuring out a way to be like, it's all Sinners. Sinners did it. How popular Sinners was. We want original IP. We want original spooky IP.
For sure, for sure.
And now I'm just gonna give all the credit to Sinners.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
As I do in most things.
I mean, I would say, Sinners, you want to go back to Jordan Peele movies, right? Like, I guess what it is an overall idea that, like, horror movies aren't just, like, B-movie
schlock.
Yeah.
You know? And then also, DC Black Label announced Sirens Love Hurts by Teenie Howard and Babs Tarr. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be very, very beautiful art. I'll say that.
Let's say it that way.
This is the last episode of Geek News Update.
Babs Tarr always makes beautiful art.
I have one of her Rogue pieces on my wall. You've seen
Very
it.
Nice.
I have a Batman one, I think.
Oh.
But it's out of frame.
Yeah. So yes. That's it for as far as DC Comics news is concerned. Let's just hop over to Marvel Comics, and then we'll hop over to Marvel TV. We'll cover some things there. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Marvel Comics has a lot going on right now. And, we could start off with... are you guys reading the Ultimate Marvel books?
Yeah, I'm reading all of them. And
okay.
The way I'm, like, excited and hyped for Absolute, and then being like, we're keeping Absolute going for 100 years. It will be an empire to last a lifetime. Marvel being like, yeah, we're gonna wrap up this whole Ultimate thing is such a bummer.
I don't know
what they're thinking.
I feel like there's a twist. Because, yes.
Maybe.
It is announced that there is one big crossover event called Ultimate Endgame, which will end the whole new Ultimate Marvel universe. Most of these books are ending at, like, issue 24. 2 years of the new Ultimate Marvel universe, and now it's over. Is it actually going to be over?
I don't know. Somebody, I can't remember what podcast it was I was listening to, but somebody did make an observation that they think it is because Hickman wanted to end Krakoa much earlier than a lot of us would have liked, and they kept that going. And now they're maybe going to actually end Ultimate to kind of respect his wishes a little bit more. But, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of potential still there, and it feels too soon to end it. You know, I don't know. It feels like it's been very funny because I have a student who is borrowing my Absolute books and my Ultimate books, and we often talk about how, like, it's funny these came out around the same time because there's so many story parallels to them. But it does feel like DC has really latched onto the success and embraced the success, and I don't feel like Marvel has accomplished that in the same way.
I'm not ragging on the new Ultimate Marvel stuff. I think they're all really good. There's a difference between it's A tier, but I think that Absolute DC is S tier, right?
Sure.
That is my professional journalist opinion here.
My critique has less to do with the content of the comics and more to do with how the corporate side of things is treating them. You know what I mean? Like, I think Absolute is very much being held up by DC as, like, one of their crown jewels right now. And I feel like that was maybe the case at the start of Ultimate. And I feel like as it's gone on, they've done less and less to sort of promote it and get people excited about it. And I don't know. It's felt less like a priority for them as the years went on.
I do respect the, like, it was conceived with an endpoint in mind quote about it. Like, I always like that, give me 4 incredible seasons of The Good Place instead of 8 seasons of The Office where, like, the last few were, it's like, okay, like, end with the plan instead of being like, it's popular, let's keep it going. That being said, I haven't read that much of it. I don't like reading things. I don't like reading issues because I'm like, oh, it's gone. It flew out of my brain. So I usually am a person that waits for trade. So I do have the trade of Ultimate X-Men, and I'm delighting in it.
Ultimate X-Men is like essentially Ultimate Runaways. It's very similar in that sense. Ultimate Wolverine is like Ultimate X-Men.
We've had
Like,
this discussion. We've had this debate many times.
yeah. Well, because that's why I didn't really like Ultimate X-Men going in,
Sure,
because
sure.
it wasn't an X-Men book, to me. And so,
But it seems crazy to me, especially when like Ultimate Spider-Man and I feel like Ultimates are like pretty popular books that get a lot of like buzz and attention when a new issue comes out. That it seems crazy to me that they're like, we're gonna wrap this up. You know what I mean?
is the Ultimates too political?
I mean, what are we saying here?
I don't mean too political as in us, for us, but
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
I think that Absolute DC, like, through their story elements and whatnot, they've kind of lucked out, because in my opinion, so Absolute DC in continuity takes place in the Absolute DC universe, where the universe is woven essentially with the fabric of Darkseid's soul, right?
Right.
That the underlying current of the Absolute DC universe is that good doesn't always win, that there's corruption and there's way more struggle than there needs to be, because that's the status quo. The status quo is Darkseid, right? Without being overtly like, oh, everybody works for Darkseid. It's just that like Darkseid's influence is there. And because the DC universe, the universe is woven with the fabric of like Superman, and like I think they've like mentioned that in a sort of meta way. My belief is that the Absolute DC universe is closer to our universe than our universe is to the DC normal universe, because because corruption and struggle almost seem like they're woven into our real world universe. That our universe has a fabric of struggle and like darkness, right?
And
like
that the bad guys are the rich people.
Yeah, I mean,
the true bad guy is the rich people.
And that the idea that like with Superman and Batman and the Justice League, like good will always win. That has always been said. They will fight, and there might be bad things that happen, but good will always win, and you can count on that. There's a hope.
Sure.
And in the Absolute DC universe, you have to create your own hope against all odds, and that is like real life. And so, to me, I think Absolute DC lucks out by essentially being able to comment on real life while also being in its own universe.
Sure.
And you can attack things politically, and at the end of the day, you could just say, well, it's not real. It's not the real world. And I think that they're taking bigger swings with that, with Absolute DC. And Ultimate Marvel has the maker running the world, and it's a little bit more super villainy.
Sure.
I think.
Well, I mean, Ultimates, I think, is definitely more explicitly political in that there are things within it that are intended to be hyperbolic, although we live in times that are so ludicrous that it borders on parody. But it is intended to be, this is a hyperbolic superhero heightening of our reality. Case in point, the Luke Cage issue, which, you know, features numerous references to real life prison abolition concepts and ideas and people, right? But at the same time, I mean, like, yes, you are right that I think Absolute couches its commentary much more strongly in metaphor, but like, I think Absolute Evil is kind of them going the Ultimates route a little bit, where they're being more explicit about like, this is what the metaphor is, you know, like the reveal of like, okay, all the bad guys are a bunch of rich people who work for the government. You know what I mean?
Well,
There's people
they work for the government. They own the government.
They own the yes. I mean, furthering that metaphor even more.
Yeah.
And it seems like, I don't know if you've seen some of the sketches that Daniel Warren Johnson has been putting on his Instagram lately, but it seems like his Absolute Batman story is about Absolute Batman kicking the crap out of neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I have to have an offline conversation about this, because I've been like yelling in comments of videos where people are completely misunderstanding me, and I'm like, I have things to say, but I can't say them on the internet.
We'll talk.
Because
we'll talk
people
later.
people are misunderstanding me.
So Marvel, I'll just read out all the news for Marvel. We could talk about whatever we want to talk about. But yes, they are ending the new Ultimate Marvel Universe. They also, once One World Under Doom is over, the big Marvel Comics side of crossover event, kind of New World Order sort of thing, they're having a quick couple issue miniseries called Dungeons of Doom. Then the villain Hela, who we know as Kate Blanchett from Thor Ragnarok, she will be getting the...
And in comics is Kate Blanchett. That is the story. Canonically, she has turned into Kate Blanchett.
She will be getting the powers of Null and becoming the Queen in Black. Null being the symbiote god. I personally do not care, but that comes out summer of 2026, so good for them. Spider-Man and Venom have an event coming out called Death Spiral, introducing a new villain called Torment. This tie-in will include Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, and Mary Jane. Iron Man gets a new #1, a new series written by Joshua Williamson, who over at DC is going to be writing Legion of Superheroes, and then here he's going to be writing Iron Man #1. And then what I'm excited for is after this Age of Revelation crossover event that's happening in X-Men comics, they are kind of kicking off new series over in the X-Men corner of Marvel Comics. The new series that have been announced for Shadows of Tomorrow, which is the next chapter of X-Men after From the Ashes, which is what was going on right now. We have a Rogue series, a Cyclops series, a Colossus and Magic series, an Inglorious X-Force series, Generation X-23, Wade Wilson Deadpool, and Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant. Which, to me, sounds really cool, but at the same time, there's no flagship X-Men title.
Can I give my big criticism of Marvel right now at this time?
No.
Because I think you listing off all these titles is especially compared to the DC news, is a good microcosm of my feelings.
I mean, we might agree, but that being said, Marvel out there, if you want to reach out to us, we'd be more than happy to change our opinions. Let us know.
We can be bought.
You know,
much like Wildcat and
I have
Absolute
no
Evil
integrity.
What
I say when I host trivia, what I say is, you are get your bribes and your tips in. I am more I do accept bribes, but I can't guarantee they do anything. So, feel free, Marvel, to reach out to us.
I'll keep it brief.
Yeah.
I think that what DC, and look, I've had plenty of criticisms of DC in the past. But I think what DC has consistently been very good at is creating, whether it's stories from the mainline DC universe and things like Black Label and things like Vertigo, creating stories that can be easily picked up by anyone and just read. Your Kingdom Comes, your Batman Year Ones, your Preachers, your Hellblazers, your whatever, right? I think that and a lot of those stories are primarily stories that are often very creator driven. And I think for whatever reason, the last couple of years, Marvel has really struggled with that aspect of things, of finding stories that are very creator driven, that are going to get people excited, but also are easily accessible to people. I think the fact that Marvel still doesn't have their own version of Black Label is crazy. Well, I was getting a signature from Black Label as creating a series of stories that are very creator driven, that aren't bogged down in a ton of continuity, and are designed that someone could just pick it up and read it and get a full experience. For example, I was in line, a huge line, to get Daniel Warren Johnson's autograph this weekend. One of the things that he was selling at his table and autographing was this beautiful print of that Wolverine short story that he did in the recent Wolverine anniversary issue, which is this awesome 8-page story that's Wolverine in reimagined as a samurai in feudal Japan. How is that not a 4 to 5 issue story? You know what I mean? That is something that would sell like crazy, that would have unbelievable art, and is something that you could point to in the same way you could point to, say, a Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. In the same way, you could point to a Batman Long Halloween and say, here's a story with this character that reimagines them in a really interesting, unique way that you could just read and enjoy without having to worry about decades of continuity before it. Ultimate Universe. I loved Ultimate Universe, but in order to really get it, you have to read the 4-part Ultimate Universe intro, then the one shot, and then you could start reading the books.
No, I disagree with that. I think Ultimate
You
Spider-Man.
kind of do.
Ultimate Spider-Man, you can just pick up.
Sure, but like if you're gonna keep going with it, if you're like, oh, I'd like to know what's going on in these other ones, I gotta read that. The Absolute books, you could just start with any of them. Like you could truly just start with any of them. There's nothing that you have to read as a precursor to the Absolute books that would damage the story in any way.
Yeah, because they just kind of start. I get it.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what they need to do. They need to just have something that just starts. They need to have things that are accessible to people. And I think, for example, what they're doing with the X-Men books, the fact that they're taking like 4 months off the X-Men books for like a weird Age of Apocalypse story and then bringing them all back again as number ones that are just restarting the book that left off like
they're
3 or 4
not restarting
months
the books that left off. That's the weird thing.
They kind of are. It's a lot of the same creative teams.
Just creative teams because they want to keep the people, right?
But
like,
that's what I'm saying. Is like
it's not like
just it's passing the baton and continuing on stories. Like the Storm book, it's gonna be the same book that I was just reading 2 or 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Like it's the same writer.
Okay.
It's gonna just pick up where it left off. And I think it doesn't make sense to me that they do these weird starts and stops. And then the starts are not really starts because they're picking up right where they left off, but they're starting at a new number 1 for sales.
Marvel has been doing that. They did with Fantastic Four recently.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think, though, there are flaws in what you're saying, but we're getting to the same place. Sure. I think that, like, me personally, I just think that right now, I think there's more cohesion in DC Comics right now. And the cohesion stems from knowing the character. Mm-hmm. I feel like it used to be that DC, I'm not saying DC has always known who Batman is. Sometimes they're just like, Batman is just this broody guy who's beating up people, and he's not going down on Catwoman. Like, that used to be their thing, right? Now, seems like they've gotten rid of that idea, right? Now they're
Which part of that we're not going to say. You draw your own conclusions.
Right. But the point being is that, like, now they're like, okay, we know who Batman is. And when you know who Batman is, you can stretch him to different areas of the universe, right? Like, you can make an absolute Batman. You can't make an absolute Batman if you don't know who Prime Earth Batman is. You can't. But But they have 2 stories that are going on right now. They have Batman by Matt Fraction, and they have Absolute Batman by Scott Snyder, where they are both very different, but yet still Batman. Mm-hmm. Like, you know,
for sure,
you can't stretch a rubber band with one hand. You know, like you have to have 2.
For sure,
you got to pull it from 2 spots. You get what I'm saying?
So, are you saying then that part of Marvel's problem is?
Does that make sense? Did I just
no?
Did that make me sound smart?
But do you feel? Well, I don't know about that. Do you feel that part of the problem is that Marvel is having an understanding of Marvel is struggling to understand some of its core characters?
Yes, and where to move forward with them, because I'm very interested to see what Marvel does with X-Men and whether they are. The pessimist in me thinks that the X-Men movies, for some reason, the MCU X-Men movies won't go as far as the Fox X-Men movies in a weird way. The Fox X-Men movies start off with a child in the Holocaust.
That's true.
Then it goes to the Senate.
Okay, sure.
Then it goes to the Senate. Like,
you mean in terms of the metaphor?
The underlying themes of X-Men.
Sure. Okay. I thought you meant in terms of like comic bookiness, and I was like, are they going to be having office jobs? I don't know how you can go less comic booky than some of those Fox movies.
The pessimist in me is wondering if Marvel knows, as a whole, the upper levels, because they are owned by Disney, whether they know what makes X-Men tick. I think that creators
for the modern fans especially, yeah.
Like it's going to be some of these senators are actually good guys, really, like that kind of stuff.
I mean, X-Men 97 gave us some good stuff, so I don't want maybe maybe it's unfounded, but I think that the X-Men comics is struggling right now figuring out where they're going to go after Krakoa. And
I also think, and I don't want to sound mean, I also think that Tom Brevoort is not the most interesting person to have as the lead editor of the X-Books.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
he has done a lot of great work, and I salute him, but like they need fresh blood and talent in there, and I don't think he's the guy.
My hot take for X-Men is that they need to start filling. I mean, the creative teams have been really good, I think.
Sure.
But I think that when it comes to editors and whatnot, I think when it comes to decision making and creative decisions on X-Men, I think that we need to be looking at the next generation and making it diverse, especially for something like X-Men. If you are, let's just say, if you're a straight white man, be an editor for Spider-Man. Cool. Like I think that like that's a good home, for you, right?
Right.
But I think X-Men needs a little X factor, pun intended. There's something there. So I think that Marvel is just not sure what they want to do with X-Men. I am looking forward to Shadows of Tomorrow because I think I'm going to reread them no matter what. But I think that all these things that I just announced is Marvel being like, we're throwing things around, throwing it at the wall, seeing what's sticking.
Yeah.
Do we want Doom as Emperor? Do we not want Doom as Emperor? What's going up with this new Torment villain? Do we want Venom? Do we want Null? Do we want Carnage? What are we doing here? So it is what it is. I think that DC Comics is way more cohesive right now.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't know how you feel.
Sarah, do you have thought? I feel like we've rambled a lot about this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
I realized you were just like, I read a lot in the trades, and I'm like, oh shit, I feel like we're doing a lot of like single issue reader talk right now.
I am a trade person because I can't. I sit down and then it's over. Yeah. But I am doing I'm doing the Absolutes weekly, and then the new Batman.
Yeah.
Are there any Marvel books that you're reading, or are you just reading DC books?
There's nothing currently that I'm reading in Marvel.
I think that's proven my point.
There's been, and that's the whole thing, is like, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I've been reading through the Daredevil run because I picked up Daredevil and Elektra without reading Devil's Reign. And I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what's going on. This is great. I have no idea what's going on. So I've been reading back through Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. So like that's keeping me busy. And it's a delight. But there's nothing that so this is kind of an outsider's perspective of like someone that's going to the comic book store, but to pick up DC books. But I like Marvel. I'm not anti-Marvel, but there hasn't been anything that anyone has been like, oh my God, you have to start reading this like week by week. Like every time a new one comes out, I'm like floored. Like nobody is talking about, at least in maybe my algorithm is not tuned in enough to Marvel, but like there's nothing that anyone is talking about as highly in Marvel that it's making me go like, okay, I'll go pick up,
I agree with you.
If you're interested in like comic book news, I recommend a podcast called Comic Talk, brought to you by the Geek.
Is it every Thursday?
Every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/.
That's my D&D night, actually.
Or, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But there are good Marvel comics. I'm not saying.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But DC as a whole seems way more cohesive in a way that even series that are unrelated still have that level of, it takes place in the same universe. They're hitting different things, but at the same time, like, the quality is there. On Marvel, Captain America, written by Chip Zdarsky, I would recommend. That's about 3 to 4
I would agree. That's one of the ones I get.
I will follow Chip Zdarsky to the ends of the earth. It's me, and I'm holding Chip Zdarsky in one hand and Matt Fraction in the other hand, and we're just like going down the road. I've been loyal to them since Sex Criminals, so I'm like, I'll be with them forever.
I think Ryan North's Fantastic Four. Yeah, I think Ryan North's Fantastic Four is also really good. I mean, I think really the only main Marvel books I read right now are Zdarsky's Cap, the Ryan North Fantastic Four stuff, including One World Under Doom, and Al Ewing's Thor. which Dimitri doesn't like because there's too many words.
No,
So
I've been reading Mortal Thor.
good. He fucked those guys up with hammers. It was great.
Yeah. Yes, I don't like the old school style of too many words on a page where it's like, let's
and yet,
show,
Brian
not
Michael
tell.
Bendis, you're not.
That's dialogue.
And yet you're
That's dialogue. Dialogue
He
is
doesn't
different.
he doesn't like the faux Shakespearean.
Yeah, the faux
Oh,
Shakespearean
see,
narration.
I'm in the English teacher camp, and I'm like,
You know,
Say, Sarah, you should read Al Ewing's story.
okay,
Feel
all
good.
right.
I will say, Amazing Spider-Man, I like Amazing Spider-Man a lot. I've been digging All New Venom. I've been digging Eddie Brock Carnage, and I don't normally like those two characters, but I do like these series, so I'll say that. You know,
I'll also say that I read a lot of these books now on the Marvel Unlimited app, but like the fact that I'm like I can wait 3 months to read this instead of having to pick it up the day it comes out, I think says something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Much like Sarah feeling like there's nothing that she is hearing the buzz about that makes her want to read it.
That's fair.
I will say I am leaning towards getting that because I got the DC one where you can read stuff online, and I'm like, I think I want to get the Marvel one so that I can like randomly just read back something if I'm like, oh, I want to.
They're the best.
And
I
I
mean,
don't feel like
after Comixology died, it's really ignominious death. I've been mostly using Marvel Limited and Hoopla as my go-to for comics, and then the DC books I want to read, I actually buy because I'm too excited to get them. I don't want to have to wait. You know,
and I feel like this is the first time I've felt really like rewarded for being like an issue reader.
Sure.
Like especially with DCKO when they like did the little tease of the feet, I was like, oh yeah, my babies, you know, like it was very like, oh, I'm getting rewarded. I don't have to have read that. If I hadn't read the Absolute stuff, I would just be like, who are those guys? And then someone on TikTok would tell me, right? But it was like I felt like I was getting like a little, you know, little whipped cream there on my Sunday, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Shout out to first thing the comic shops. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. Pick up any of these comics that we're talking about. Support local comic shops, and then also Hoopla you can get with a public library card. So support your local public libraries. That is a given. But you can also get access to Hoopla through your local public library. And so,
I love Hoopla so much.
You know?
It's the best.
Yeah.
I would. And Hoopla is also crazy because it also, for a lot of publishers like Image and Boom Studios and IDW, they'll just have new single issues the day they come out.
Oh, they're allowed?
And you can borrow them for like up to 20 days.
Oh, cool.
That's how I read Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. It just comes up on the app the day it comes out.
Nice.
And you have a limited number of borrows each month. But like, it's incredible. Yeah. Everyone who likes comics should have Hoopla.
And support your local public libraries, you know?
And support your library in the process. It's great.
So, although I would love to stress reading, we're going to move into a different medium, which is TV, specifically Marvel TV, because there was no DC TV news. That being said, you know what's coming up. Lanterns is coming up, which is the new DC show. Peacemaker Season 2 just ended. Supergirl as a movie is coming out. Clayface as a movie is coming out. And then Man of Tomorrow, I think, is after that. So,
My Adventures with Superman Season 3?
Is there?
Can't wait.
But I don't have any news about it.
When it's coming out, we don't know.
But... Okay.
I will be seated with my child who is obsessed with the My Adventures of Superman Lois Lane.
Oh,
it's her favorite character in all of fiction.
I love
She wore it as an outfit for her dress as your favorite character to school.
No way.
She's like, can you make me a Lois Lane cosplay? So she has like the full like Daily Planet thing.
Great taste.
Lois Lane. She's got the exact outfit. It's amazing.
That's cute.
She's got great taste.
There's also Creature Commandos.
Creature
Commandos. That season 2. So anyway, that's DC for you. But Marvel TV, again, I'll just shout out the news and then we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. They released a trailer for Wonder Man. It's an 8-episode live-action series coming out January 27th, 2026 on Disney+. The show follows Simon Williams, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, as a struggling actor. It's supposed to be a sort of meta fiction. Then we have X-Men 97 coming out summer of 2026. That is an animated show. X-Men 97 season 1 is already out on Disney+. Season 2 comes out in the summer, and they have an early season 3 renewal, kind of like how Mortal Kombat 3 got announced season 3 of X-Men 97 got announced. We also have
That made me
friendly.
laugh so much.
What'd you say?
I don't know why I found it so funny, but I did.
What?
You were just like, they really pulled a Mortal Kombat 3 with that one.
Yeah, you know. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2 comes out fall 2026. That is also an animated series coming to Disney Plus. Daredevil Born Again season 2 comes out March 2026. That is live action. You know, season 2. The season 1 is already out. And then we have Vision Quest coming out in 2026. That will bring back Vision. It is the third of the trilogy that goes from essentially WandaVision to Agatha to Vision Quest.
That is the exact phrase they used, yes.
The way that someone asked Paul Bettany months ago about it, of like, so Vision Quest is gonna like complete the trilogy, and he was like, what do you mean? Like, no, I haven't. And then he's coming out like, yes, and I'm like, you guys. Also, why have I seen leaked footage of every one of these trailers except Vision Quest? I am like,
oh, that's crazy.
Brian was there.
Well, I'll say this: the Daredevil trailer was
described frame by frame.
Oh.
It's crazy. It's a trip. I will say a lot of these trailers were much more like scissor reel teasers. You don't really get a sense of plot from a lot of them. I think actually the Vision Quest one is the one you get closest to a plot for. But the Daredevil one was played twice, so I think people had more of an opportunity to record that one than they did the other ones. And that one was also a complete surprise. I don't think any of us were expecting them to have footage for that. That one definitely looks the most like visually intriguing, and I'm very curious to see what the plot of that one is going to be. Yeah, what would you like to know about any of them? Do you want me to like go into detail about stuff that stood out to me when I saw it,
or I mean, what are you personally looking forward to?
I mean, as a Turbo nerd, I'm looking forward to the cartoon the most.
Which ones?
X-Men 97 and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like, I love both of those shows. Truly love them both. X-Men 97, it looks like at least for the first few episodes, they're going to be doing the like past, present, future, dealing with Apocalypse. You get a glimpse of Scott and Jean in the Frank Quitely new X-Men costumes at one point, which gave me a big pop. It just looks like very fun. The one thing that gives me a little bit of pause is that they're doing a little bit of like it's the 90s humor, which they avoided doing in the first season. Like there's a bit where at the end of the trailer, they're in this room. It's like Morph, Wolverine, and Lady Deathstrike are like in this room, and Morph's like, "Oh, digital video discs." And Lady Deathstrike picks it up and goes, "I prefer laser disc." And then like Morph and Wolverine give each other a look like, I was like, okay, we don't need to do 90s jokes, guys. You didn't have to do that last season. Let's not fall back on that hacky stuff. But yeah, I mean, it just looks fun. And then same with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, we're getting Doc Ock in full Doc Ock mode with the tentacles. There's going to be some Venom stuff going on. You see some stuff with Lonnie Lincoln and the Chameleon together. I think kind of implying his like criminal empire getting built. Like that show really surprised me with how it reinvented Spider-Man and the ideas it was throwing out. So I'm very excited for both of those shows. Those are the ones that I'm most excited about.
Are they going to keep the same theme song?
They better. The theme song rules.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. Vision Quest is really interesting. It seems to be like Vision is, first of all, they kept calling this version of Vision White Vision, and I was like, you can't say that out loud. It sounds like something you don't want to associate yourself with. It sounds bad. But they essentially show Vision, and he's like, it starts off and he's going to this home that has this like impossible, weird architecture. And when he goes in, the house is populated by human versions of the different AIs we've seen throughout the MCU. Okay. So there's a human version of Dummy, there's a human version of Edith, there's a human version of Friday, there's a human version of Jarvis, who's played by Jarvis from Agent Carter, which was fun. And then you realize, like, oh, this is inside his head. So he's got this, like, world inside his head that he goes to when he's, like, in shutdown mode that's populated by the different AIs. And one of the AIs in there as well is Ultron, who seems to be doing a sort of, like, come to the dark side sort of thing with him.
Right.
So there seems to be like that interior conflict, and then exterior, it seems like he's being hunted by, I guess it's Paladin, they announced is one of the people who's going to be in it.
Paladin.
Y'all know Paladin.
Paladin like hasn't like I haven't seen Paladin in comics in decades.
Well, you get ready to see him again next year for MCU Synergy. He's going to be back in a big way.
Who are they going to bring in next? Paste Pot Pete?
They better, damn. And then it ends with a tease of Vision discovering the location of Tommy Maximoff.
Yeah.
And, setting up, like you said, the completion of the WandaVision trilogy. It looks cool. It looks interesting. I'm intrigued by it.
It's interesting that a lot of what I'm hearing from it is like, the end credits better be Wanda. And I was like, oh my God, like this new news. And then everyone's like, all I can think about is Wanda. And I'm like, I can't imagine that they're going to finish off a trilogy and then not have Scarlet Witch back. Like, I think
I would hope she's in more than just the credits. I would hope she has a proper role in some capacity at the ending.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't know. Or at very least, like the twins and him reuniting and then going off to find Wanda and whatever next thing they do. But yeah, and then Daredevil. I mean, Daredevil looks cool, but again, not a lot of plot. A cool little sizzle reel. The one thing that I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm wondering what this is supposed to be because I don't recognize it from the comics. But there's like a video that they keep like showing quick cuts of that's like someone in a Kingpin costume and like a sort of like anonymous style video where it's like a plastic mask that's clearly supposed to look like Wilson Fisk, but it's a very like cartoony version of him, and it's being shot like it's a cell phone camera video. So I don't know if there's some kind of like anti-authoritarian group or like hacker group that's trying to take him down or something. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know what that is. And then obviously the return of Jessica Jones is the big.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what she said because everyone started yelling.
No, I also couldn't both times because people were cheering both times. I'm like, guys, you just saw this. Why are we cheering again?
I'm interested on if they're gonna win me back because I did not like Daredevil Born Again very much. I famously liked I like to come into the Geek Show podcasts after shows with a positive attitude, a positive outlook, and I was definitely struggling towards the end of being like, I feel like I'm the only person that did not like this. I really liked the middle episodes the best. Like the bank episode was probably my favorite.
That episode's great. I love
the fact that I was like liking all of the stuff from the old creative team and disliking stuff from the new creative team has me very worried.
Yeah.
I had also just rewatched Netflix's Daredevil, like a full rewatch that ended like the day before the premiere of Born Again, which was like in retrospect a bad choice. But I did meet Wilson Bethel, who plays Bullseye, and he was very delightful. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy that you're in the show and you're nice. And I was dressed I was dressed as Elektra, and he apologized for killing me. He's like, I'm sorry I killed you, and I'm like, thank you.
I like how he's taking credit for that, although he technically didn't do that in the show.
Well, I was in the comics costume.
Sure.
And it was I'm interested. I'm hoping maybe with it being more even that
they'll be there from the beginning instead of trying to right the ship. Yeah,
exactly.
Also,
I think I was on board with it for the most part, but I thought the finale kind of pooped the bed a little bit. I think there's a lot I didn't like in that finale, but we'll see.
I kind of forgot that season existed. I'm gonna be honest. And we did a whole after.
Well, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. We're also getting that Punisher Spotlight one shot sort of thing at some point, but I just felt we don't need to go into my review of season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, but like I think in season 2 I need more heroes.
Wonder Man. I'm excited for Wonder Man. I don't know anything about this. I don't know this. I don't know anything.
The trailer looked
amazing.
Yeah,
the guy from Superman, I can't place anywhere but as the guy from Superman.
Someone made a great joke where they're like, Hawkgirl dropped him so hard he fell into the MCU, which I thought was very funny. But the thing that I felt bad about with it, I was like, this looks so delightful and funny, and I just know everybody's gonna treat it like She-Hulk, and it's gonna make me mad. Because it's like, can we just do something fun? Does everything have to be like a serious show every time? Let's just have a lark. Let's just enjoy ourselves.
I don't know whether it's gonna be completely like the trailer. I think the trailer is purposely cutting out all the powers and all the villains and all. I think there's
for sure.
I think
everything that's in that trailer is like episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a line where the director makes a comment about wanting to blur the line between reality and fiction. And I think he's going to do something to Simon Williams that's going to give him superpowers. And the idea is he wants to make like a cinema verite superhero movie where it's like you're going to watch the adventures of a real superhero.
Also, the guy's name is Von Korvac.
Like the Korvac saga?
Yeah. Like Michael
Yeah, I had
Korvac.
that thought too. I had that thought too. Which would be a weird pull. I don't know, because he doesn't like give people superpowers. He's just like a cosmic powered weirdo.
I mean, yeah, he's like that. There's a character in Star Trek that has like reality bending power.
Q? Y'all talking about Q?
No, there's a human that ascends.
Oh, are you talking about like original series Star Trek?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yes, I know from like the very first episode. But yes, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if he's first episode, but like, yeah,
he's in one of the first episodes. Yeah,
they've had an X-Men Star Trek crossover book in the 90s that like incorporated him. His name is like Michael something or another.
Yes.
But he's kind of like Korvac in a way. But anyway, the point being is,
you know what my favorite thing in that X-Men Star Trek crossover is?
What?
Is when someone at the front of the ship goes, Dr. McCoy, and then Beast and Bones both look down the hall and go, yes? I think about that all the time.
Do they ever bring up that Xavier and Picard look the same? Wait, no, it's not Picard. It's original series. Never mind. Anyway, I am excited for Wonder Man. I think it'll be good. I think they're purposely hiding things, and I like it when they purposely hide things because better than them purposely leaking things.
I love to be deceived.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks very fun, and I'm excited to see the like kind of satirical side of movie making, specifically superhero movie making, that seems to be coming up with it. The character's name was Gary Mitchell, by the way.
Gary Mitchell. I was thinking Michael.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Gary Mitchell. So I mean, this is roughly what was announced at New York Comic Con. Obviously, there's other things. They announced that Thrag has been cast in Invincible season.
And people are not respecting. They're like, what a dumb. And I'm like, please put some respect on Lee Pace.
On Lee Pace.
Yeah, shut up, idiots.
Lee Pace could crush all of you under his giant foot because he's like 6'7" or something crazy.
Is he really?
He's so
yeah,
tall.
He's huge. He's
How
so
come
tall.
he looks lanky?
Because he is.
Because he's tall and lanky. What are you talking
about? He doesn't look
no,
tall. Like he just looks skinny.
He's so tall. Hold on, let me Google it.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Have
you not watched the Hobbit movies? I mean, yes, everybody's tall in those movies.
Sorry, he's
default,
he's
but
6'5".
Yeah, he's tall as hell.
You've not seen I think you've only ever seen photos of him by himself, maybe. I mean, I've looked at a lot of photos of Lee Pace. I can tell you, quite tall. I've seen every photo of Lee Pace ever.
Yeah, no, he's great. Those nerds need to go watch The Fall and then come back to me. Idiots.
I've been with him since Pushing Daisies. I'm in deep with Lee Pace.
He's in the new
great.
Running
He's gonna
Man.
rock that.
He's in the new Running Man movie.
Is he?
That's what it says.
Oh, is he the guy with the mask on?
I don't know.
I bet he's the guy with the mask on.
I watched the old Running Man movie like yesterday.
Great movie.
For the first time.
Great movie.
I saw the movie
Here's Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero.
I saw the movie about the Walking Boys. And I've been crying ever since.
What's the Walking Boys?
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk.
Oh, yeah.
I do love how there are two different Stephen King adaptations, and one is The Long Walk and one is The Running Man that are coming out.
They wrote both Richard Bachman novels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Long Walk was the first book he ever wrote.
Dark Stephen King.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, I mean, we don't have time to go into Richard Bachman versus Stephen King. Ballsy move on his part.
What are you talking about?
Basically back in the day, he did like writers weren't supposed to like dilute their brand, right? So he created an alias to release 2 books a year.
I was unclear on what you were referring to as a ballsy move.
That was a ballsy move, and like he wanted to really put himself like on his back foot.
Yeah.
You know. So
he was also, on a lot of substances that was making him write endlessly.
That's my favorite part of the Dark Tower is when he writes in his character is going to his house to be like, stop doing so much cocaine and finish this book.
What a guy.
Delightful series.
What a weird guy.
Yeah. That's really the only draw that those type of substances have for me being like, oh, I could
get so
more.
Much done.
I could write
Dimitri,
more.
Please don't talk yourself into doing cocaine. I'm going to put my foot down here on this podcast. Do not talk yourself into doing cocaine.
For the purpose of this podcast, I will announce that I'm not.
You'll write a lot, but you don't know how good it's going to be.
Yeah, you don't know how good it's going to be. You have to be at least as good as peak era Stephen King.
Look, all I know is Stephen King, Aaron Sorkin, Dimitri Pereira.
The Holy Trinity.
Sure.
Evie would like to show you guys. She made a drawing of you.
Oh.
Of who?
This is all of us here on the Zoom, and she wrote, "I heart podcasts."
I love it.
Okay.
This is my computer setup.
I love it.
Here we all are.
Yeah.
Tell her we said thank you.
Thank
and
you.
We love
it. Thank you.
Sarah, if you could afterwards take a picture of that and I'll post it up.
Okay, for sure.
Perfect.
We should do a raffle and the winner gets to take home this photo that I made.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think a 3-person raffle.
Brian's all the way in another state, so we'll have to send it to him in the mail.
I'm in Jersey.
We just got her. This is no, it's a volume. I'm just talking. We got her when you were talking about the Black Label. We got her the Junie Ba Boy Wonder.
Oh, look at that.
Because she is a Damian Wayne girl. She's Damian Wayne super fan. And
great. This kid has great taste. This kid has excellent taste.
No,
Brian,
famously.
What are you talking? You're not a Tim Drake fan?
Hey, now he's
fine.
making a comeback. He's making a comeback.
He's fine. I like him fine.
I do Jason Todd and she does Damian Wayne cosplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tim Drake's my favorite.
Damian Wayne rules?
Yeah.
He has a sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that book. That's a great book.
Is good.
So good.
More than you.
Junie Ba, one of my faves.
No, more than your favorite.
Yeah. Oh, you love Damian Wayne more than I love my favorite character. Is that what you just said to me?
Yes. Look at it.
Brutal.
Brian, Brian's such a hipster. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
You're all about Jack Kirby and Junie Ba.
You know it. Oh, by the way, speaking of, you remember when I recommended Copra on the podcast?
That's right, yeah.
So I saw the creator, Michel Fiffe, at New York Comic Con, and I got an Orion commission from him. Pretty sick. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to put it up next to my Mr. Miracle and Big Barda commission that I have from Corella Borelli.
I made a TikTok about how it's really unfair that there's so many comic artists that are just also hot and that like you shouldn't also get to be hot.
I saw that. It's very funny.
And the amount of people that were in there like, oh, I'm meeting Dan Mora this weekend. I'm meeting Jorge Jimenez this weekend. And someone was like, I'll tell him you said this. And I was like, don't tell him I said this. I was like, if you show Dan Mora this TikTok, I will like burrow into the ground. Like, don't you dare.
That's so funny.
Yeah. That's how I feel about certain creators out there. I'm with you. I won't say because the goal I have to be unbiased as a
people
as a
just kept putting other people in the comments, and I was like, oh my god, there's so many. Belen Ortega was the one that they put in the comments, and then I googled her and I was like, dear lord, you do not get to be that beautiful and also so good at art, which is like they worked really hard, so like they weren't just born with that talent, but
they chose not to fall back on how hot they were.
Yeah,
they could have done that. And they didn't.
Yeah.
You can unlock the car.
Well, it was a great New York Comic Con.
Shout out to anyone out there who's watching us. Hop in the chat. I mean, we are finishing up right now, but like, comment, subscribe, follow. We were going over all the geek news that are coming out of New York Comic Con. So, After all is said and done, I don't know if there's anything that you guys heard about that you wanted to talk about, but I mean,
No,
are there big
I'm
things that
very
you're...
excited
Yeah.
for the new Ninja Turtle short film because my son loves that movie, so we're gonna go see that, and then probably leave because I don't really want to watch the new SpongeBob movie. I just want to see the Ninja Turtle short. But I'm excited they're going to Jersey.
Is that the one that people were foolishly like, how could they be pro AI? And I'm like,
Oh
I
my
think it's
God.
the exact opposite. And I was like, plus, also, as a teacher of teenagers, if you ask them to do anything, the first thing they do is ask ChatGPT. So that's incredibly accurate.
I was like, open the schools. In that ad, they're explicitly making fun of AI, and clearly the entire point of the movie, the running joke of the movie, is going to be they're fighting a company that created toys of them using AI.
Like, open the schools. My school is open. Please come to my class and let me teach you.
Is this what I heard where they're releasing those toys too?
Yes, they had a setup of the fake toys, which is very funny.
Okay. I mean, look, it's a good time to be just a fan of anything. Like, I don't know. Like, the world is our oyster. At the same time, shit sucks.
What do I always say, Dimitri? The world is bad, but the comics are good.
I like that. Before we get going, I want to thank you both so much for coming on this show, especially on a Monday night, to talk about all this news and everything. Hopefully people out there who are listening appreciated both the deep dives and the, surface level content that we provide. All layers, But before we get going, Brian, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
You can find me on TikTok if you want to watch my old TikToks. Maybe I'll make some TikToks again.
You should.
Maybe. We'll see. You can find me on Captain Comic Rex. That's RECS. Like recommendations. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Life's good.
You do good work. You're a good person. I like having you on. So
I'm trying my best. Teaching my comics class. That's going great. Having fun doing it. Yeah.
I wish you would have come to San Diego.
I know. I wish you would have come to New York.
No, you come here.
I'll come to New York Comic Con if I can do a panel on teaching comics in the class.
There we go. Okay. Hey, actually, we'll be in touch. I was talking to Dimitri about this for 2026.
Yeah.
Let's check in. We'll make
all
it
you need to do is give me one singular excuse and I will be there. That's true of most things.
Sarah, where can people find you? What do you got coming up?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ms_Marauder. We just kind of finished up our big con season, so there's not a lot of new cosplays on the to-do list. We're kind of looking forward to 2026 cosplans. But if you would like to see, we are doing a photo shoot with Red Hood and little ghost Jason Todd. So the people have spoken and they want that cosplay. So that was her idea. She loves the angst. So yeah, we're doing more of that. You can find me yelling about Batman pretty much anywhere that I live on the internet.
Yeah, you've been getting way into it lately, huh?
It's like I've come home to Batman. I've been away for a while.
Yeah.
I got the Bat family hyperfixation from the Superman movie, which has been an experience that many people have had. So yeah, it's been kind of a refreshing journey because I've been reading Batman comics since I was her age. And then she started watching DC animated movies. So we're kind of going on a journey. I'm rediscovering it. She's watching stuff for the first time. She's just about to finish the first season of Young Justice. She also started a podcast called Robin Reviews. Where
nice.
It was your idea though. Where we go over she watches DC animated movies and gives her reviews.
And the first one was Son of Batman, which I at least watched 1,058.
Yeah, the first one was Son of Batman.
So you can look up on YouTube Robin Reviews and you'll see it, and it has my name on it, so you'll know.
Yes, she is the number one Damian Wayne fan.
In the world.
In the world.
Absolutely.
To the point that I have to get her to be like, please watch this. It's so good. It does not have Damian Wayne in it, but I promise it's good. And she's like, okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I feel the same way sometimes.
I mean, you guys are eating well. I'm a Tim Drake fan. It's always a struggle.
Hey, you guys
Oh,
are doing
hey,
good.
he's going to be the Robin in this Matt Fraction book.
I love it. He has a
took
moment
a shot.
in
He
number
took a
2.
shot to the gut like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And he beat up
He
those
got-
guys in the back of that truck.
Yeah.
He got to drive all 13 gears on the Batmobile. which
Not
was
all
so
13.
funny.
Not all 13.
That's true. That's true.
Can't
That's
do
true.
the
secret 13th
multiversal-
gear.
The cosmic gears or whatever it is. Yeah. All right. Thank you both so much for coming on. Thank you to Evie also for plugging her podcast. For anyone out there who wants to find the Keeg, you can find us at The Keeg Show on Instagram and TikTok. Those are our 2 biggest social media platforms. We're also on Blue Sky and Threads and all that. At The Keeg Show / The Keeg Show, wherever you can find The Keeg, including patreon.com / The Keeg Show, where we are thinking about doing some new Patreon-only content, which may or may not involve drinking and talking about comics. So if that interests people, then patreon.com / The Keeg Show. Also, go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, support your local comic shops, pick up any of the comics that we talk about here and on our show Comic Talk, which is every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com / The Keeg Show, or on podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, where we talk about all the comics that came out that week. That's Comic Talk every Thursday. This is Geek News Update, just a new sort of news format show that we're doing for the Keeg, and we'll see if you guys like it out there. Let us know, like, comment, subscribe, follow to, all our platforms, whatever. Let us know, write a review. Maybe you like Geek News Update, and this is the show for you. So, whatever. comicshoplocator.com, support your public libraries, that's a big thing, get that hoopla, and that's pretty much it.
You nailed it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Thank you to everybody out there for listening, watching, digesting. Thank you to Brian, thank you to Sarah, thank you to Evie. Once again, I am your host, Dimitri Pereira, and this has been the Keeg's Geek News Update for New York Comic Con, October 13th, 2025. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Super strong or super fast. Gotta beat the boss and get the loot, 'cause it's the king.